Humanity had reached beyond the stars, their colonies scattered across the galaxy, their advancements in technology unmatched by any other species. Earth had become a symbol of peace, prosperity, and quiet dominance. The once chaotic, war-torn planet had evolved into a utopia where people lived without fear, aided by technology that had tamed the dangers of the universe. Massive ships, gleaming cities on distant worlds, and vast networks of space stations formed a sprawling web of human civilization, their influence growing with each passing year. Yet beneath the surface of this prosperity, a sense of stagnation was settling in. With their technological marvels safeguarding them, humanity had pulled back from the greater mysteries of space. Exploration, once the driving force behind their expansion, had slowed. Diplomatic missions, once filled with hope and curiosity, had become mundane tasks. The wonder of new worlds was now just routine. Humanity, once fearless in its pursuit of the unknown, had become content, complacent even, with their accomplishments. They were no longer pioneers, they were rulers, and the galaxy was an echo of their reach. As humanity withdrew into itself, a growing unease festered among the galaxy's other inhabitants. Alien races, who had once looked to humanity with awe and admiration, now whispered of their growing dominance. Some saw Earth as a rising threat, a quiet power that could overshadow the galaxy. Others simply felt weary, overwhelmed by the sheer scale of humanity's influence. The galaxy, vast and mysterious, had lost its open frontier feel. It was no longer a place of exploration, but one of peacekeeping and dominance. The stillness of space was no longer a quiet lull. It was the calm before an inevitable storm. On the Sentinel, humanity's last hope for intergalactic diplomacy, the crew continued their mission without the urgency that had once defined humanity's place in the stars. Captain Alara Singh, a seasoned diplomat, was the embodiment of Earth's peaceful presence. Her sharp mind and experience had earned her command of the Sentinel, a ship built not for conquest, but for maintaining relationships with alien civilizations. She had seen the galaxy, had spoken with its many species, and understood their fears and hopes. Yet despite all of this, something gnawed at her, something she couldn't shake. Earth's withdrawal from the wider universe felt like a warning. She couldn't help but wonder if their arrogance was finally catching up with them. Then there was Dr. Ethan Reed, a scientist whose obsession with an ancient artifact had slowly consumed him. He had uncovered something that could change everything for humanity. The artifact, mysterious and powerful, held secrets that could either reshape the galaxy or doom it. His cold demeanor, focused entirely on the pursuit of knowledge, made him an enigma to his fellow crew members. They saw him as brilliant, yes, but also distant, almost detached from the mission itself. What did he hope to achieve with this discovery? What role would this ancient power play in humanity's future? The Tivrath, a mysterious and powerful alien species, had sent one of their emissaries aboard the Sentinel. The Tivrath were both feared and respected across the galaxy. Silent and calculating, their knowledge of galactic technologies was unrivaled, and their motives always seemed cloaked in shadow. They spoke little, but their presence was enough to make others wary. What did the Tivrath truly want from their human counterparts? Were they allies, or were they merely biding their time, waiting for the right moment to strike? Only time would tell. The Sentinel's mission was meant to be a simple diplomatic venture, a routine stop to maintain peace with a distant alien race. The crew operated like a well-oiled machine, their tasks predetermined, their actions controlled. Life aboard the ship was calm, almost mundane, but there was an undercurrent of tension, unseen, unspoken. Alien species, while still cooperating with humanity, were beginning to murmur amongst themselves. Some began to view humanity's ever-expanding reach with suspicion. They whispered of the day when humanity's thirst for control would shift from peaceful exploration to an unyielding hunger for power. What would happen if Earth's curiosity about the stars returned in full force? Then one day, the impossible happened. A transmission from Earth, the first of many, the lifeblood of human civilization, went unanswered. The steady stream of data that had once filled the vast expanse of space suddenly stopped. Earth's voice was gone. The heartbeat of humanity was silenced, and the galaxy felt it. The usual hum of communication across the stars, the constant chatter between species, ceased. The silence was deafening. The Sentinel crew scrambled to understand what had happened, only to find that it wasn't just Earth. The silence extended throughout the colonies. Nothing from Earth, nothing from any of the humans scattered across the galaxy. A complete and utter blackout. Dr. Reed, ever the scientist, dove into his research, seeking answers. It didn't take long for him to make a discovery. An ancient artifact, buried deep on a remote moon, had somehow triggered this silence. Its power was like nothing humanity had ever encountered. The artifact had the potential to be a weapon or a warning, depending on how it was understood. But no one could tell what the artifact truly was, or how it had managed to manipulate the galaxy's communication networks. What was the Sirenkin, the ancient race that had created the artifact, trying to say? And why had they chosen humanity as their target? As humanity's absence rippled through the galaxy, panic began to set in. The colonies, now isolated, were vulnerable. Alien species, already uneasy about humanity's growing dominance, now felt the fear of the unknown. Some feared that humanity had simply vanished, erased from existence, leaving nothing behind. Others believed that this silence was a deliberate act, one designed to isolate Earth and its colonies for some greater purpose. And what did the Sirenkin want with humanity? Were they punishing Earth for its power, or was there something far darker at play? Captain Alara Singh, with her experience in navigating diplomatic crises, found herself thrust into a leadership role that no one could have predicted. The Sentinel was her ship, and now it was her responsibility to find answers. The stakes were higher than ever before. Earth had vanished, and the universe seemed to be holding its breath, waiting for humanity to return. But what if the silence could never be broken? What if humanity's place in the galaxy had already been erased? Alara knew that she had no time to waste. She had to act. The fate of her species rested on her shoulders, and she couldn't afford to let Earth be forgotten in the stars. The Sirenkin silence was more than a cosmic mystery. It was a call to action, and Captain Singh knew that the answer would lead them deeper into the unknown than they had ever gone before. The Sentinel moved forward into the heart of the galactic void, uncertain of what awaited them. Every light year brought new dangers, new questions, and the ever-present fear that the silence could be the beginning of humanity's ultimate end. But one thing was certain: humanity was not done. The Sentinel cuts through the vast emptiness of space. Its engines hum softly, barely breaking the silence that envelops the ship. For days, the crew has moved toward the galactic core, following orders, but the weight of the mission hangs over them all. Earth, the beating heart of humanity, has gone silent. No signals, no transmissions. It's as if the planet simply ceased to exist. The crew of the Sentinel, an elite team of humans and alien allies, is tasked with finding the source of this silence, but no one knows what awaits them in the unknown reaches of space. Captain Alara Singh stands in the observation deck, gazing at the stars. There's a strange weight in the air. The deep, unbroken silence that now pervades the galaxy gnaws at her thoughts. She's done this before, led missions through the most dangerous and unknown parts of space, but never like this. This isn't just a technical glitch, a mistake in the system. There's something far more sinister at work. Her mind races with the possibilities. An alien threat? Some sort of ancient power stirring in the dark corners of the universe? She doesn't know, but she feels it deep within her. As she turns away from the observation deck, her chief scientist, Dr. Ethan Reed, approaches. He's been lost in his work since the silence began. His obsession with the ancient artifact he discovered intensifying with every passing hour. "We're closing in on the galactic core," Alara says, trying to sound confident. "The silence could have been a cosmic anomaly, but it's not just Earth. Colonies are going dark too. We need answers." Reed's eyes are sharp behind his glasses, focused solely on the data before him. "I've been analyzing the artifact," he says, barely looking up. "It's not just a relic. It's a key, something designed to disrupt the very fabric of communication across the galaxy." Alara's pulse quickens. She's not surprised. Reed's discoveries often have that effect. His work is always revolutionary, always dangerous. But this could be the catalyst for something far beyond their understanding. "There's something else," Reed continues, his voice low. "The Tivrath, they know more about this than they're letting on." Alara stiffens. The Tivrath, an ancient enigmatic species, allies in name only, their motives always clouded. If they know something, it could change everything, or it could tear the fragile alliance they've built apart. The ship lurches, breaking the tense silence between them. The Sentinel is jolted as it enters an uncharted sector of space. Outside, a strange, shimmering field distorts the stars, casting a pall over everything. "Unknown fleet ahead," the communications officer announces. "Hostile signatures detected." "Great," Alara mutters under her breath. "Just what we needed." On the bridge, the crew braces for impact, weapons systems coming online. The fleet, alien aggressive, looms ahead. A wall of ships with weapons primed, communication systems dark. Tension crackles in the air. The crew looks to Alara, waiting for orders. She takes a deep breath, then commands, "Hold fire, but prepare for engagement." Let's see if they're friend or foe. As the Sentinel draws closer, the alien fleet moves into position, blocking their path. Suddenly, a strange signal pulses from the heart of a nearby black hole. It's powerful, unlike any frequency they've ever encountered. The ships before them, hostile until now, begin to power down. Weapons retract, shields drop. The Tivrath stand by silently watching, but they don't move. They don't explain. "Do you know what this is?" Alara asks sharply, her voice demanding. The Tivrath emissary turns slowly, his alien eyes unreadable. "This is not our fight," he says, his voice cold and distant. "You are walking a path laid long before your species was born. There are powers here, ancient powers that even we do not understand. You have no idea what you are truly facing. The tension between the humans and the Tivrath grows palpable. Alara's mind races, trying to process this new development. If this signal can halt an entire fleet, what else can it do? The alien fleet, now subdued, seems to have become a strange ally, but only by the grace of this mysterious signal. Alara knows that it's only temporary. They are still in the dark about the true nature of the forces at play here. "All systems are online," the communications officer reports. "But there's something different, a voice, a message. It's coming through, weak, distorted." "Put it through," Alara commands. A garbled voice fills the room. The Sirenkin. Silence. "Your kind. Under their control." Dr. Reed's face pales. "The Sirenkin," he whispers. "They're the ones who triggered the silence. It wasn't a malfunction. It's their doing." Alara stands frozen, absorbing the weight of the revelation. The Sirenkin, a race older than most civilizations could even comprehend, capable of manipulating the very fabric of communication. Across the galaxy, The very reason humanity was silenced. A weapon, a warning. They've done this before, Reed continues, his voice trembling with the gravity of his discovery. They don't just silence, they control. They eradicate entire species when they grow too powerful. We were never meant to be, we were always a risk to them. The reality of the situation sinks in. Humanity, once so proud and fearless, has become a pawn in an ancient game played by the Sirenkin. We can't let them erase us, Alara mutters to herself, her voice hardening with determination. We will fight. We will rise. But the betrayal runs deep. Some of her crew begin to question everything, the Tivrath's involvement, the secrecy, their own role in this grand cosmic play. How much did the Tivrath know? Had they been manipulating humanity's rise? All along, the lines between ally and enemy blur, and distrust festers beneath the surface. With time running out and the colonies vulnerable, Alara knows that the mission has grown beyond mere diplomacy. It has become a battle for humanity's survival. The Sirenkin are coming, and the crew of the Sentinel must decide, fight the silence or be silenced forever. The unknown stretches before them, a vast, terrifying chasm. But in that chasm, Alara sees humanity's future. They must face the unknown, for only through the darkness will they find the light or be consumed by it. Prepare for whatever comes next, Alara orders, her voice resolute. Humanity has always adapted. We'll do it again. But even as she speaks, a nagging question lingers in her mind. Can humanity truly survive the cosmic forces that loom on the horizon? Or will their silence become permanent, a final whisper in the endless void of space? The Sentinel pushes forward, into the unknown, carrying the fate of an entire species on its shoulders. The Sentinel cuts through the vast, empty expanse of space, its engines purring in the silence. The stars beyond the hull seem distant, almost uninviting, as if the cosmos itself is holding its breath. Captain Alara Singh stands in the command center, her hands clasped behind her back, staring into the void ahead. The mission to the Galactic. Core had seemed straightforward at first. Find the source of the silence that has gripped Earth and its colonies. Unravel the mystery of why humanity's communications have gone dark. But as they venture deeper into the unknown, Alara feels the weight of something far darker pressing against them. The silence had been unsettling at first, like a glitch in the system. But as the days passed, the crew began to realize that this wasn't just a technical malfunction. The silence was deliberate. It was engineered. And if the Sirenkin, the ancient and powerful race who had the ability to manipulate galactic communication networks, were behind it, humanity might be facing a threat far more devastating than they could ever have imagined. Alara's voice cracks the quiet tension. This wasn't an accident. Someone did this. Someone intended for us to be silenced. And that means we're at risk. Not just us, but every colony out there. We're all vulnerable. Dr. Reed, the scientist obsessed with an ancient artifact he found, looks up from his console. Whoever controls the silence controls the fate of entire species. And if the Sirenkin are behind this, humanity could be next. The ship lurches. As they enter the heart of the galactic void, an oppressive, eerie blackness stretching ahead, Alara feels the weight of the vast unknown pressing in on her. What happens when humanity is left with nothing? The question echoes in her mind as the stars ahead grow dimmer, swallowed by an endless void. The crew's unease grows, tensions rising like a storm on the horizon. There are whispers, the kind of whispering that happens when you can feel danger but can't see it. The silence isn't just space, it's the calm before a cosmic storm. Alara's eyes narrow. We're walking into something, I can feel it, stay alert. The silence is their weapon, and we're heading straight into the heart of it. The crew is restless, every member on edge. The Tivrath emissary stands at the back, his dark eyes, unreadable. He said little since their journey began, but there's a tension about him. He knows more than he's letting on, and Alara can feel it in the air, like the quiet before an avalanche. The Tivrath finally speaks, his voice low, cold. The Sirenkin are ancient. They do not just silence, they isolate. They decide who is worthy of existence and who is not. Alara's hands tighten on the controls. Are we worthy? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper. The Tivrath offers no answer, only a sharp, almost imperceptible shake of his head, a cryptic warning. The unease has turned to something more, the first stirrings of real fear. Suddenly, a new signal cuts through the silence. An alien fleet emerges, massive ships with gleaming weapons and shields activated. Communication channels stay silent, but the intent is clear, hostile. The Tivrath reacts, his posture shifting as if he feels the gravity of the moment. "What are they waiting for?" Alara demands. "They've got weapons primed. What are we walking into?" The Tivrath's eyes flicker, a deep understanding flashing behind them. Hostile or not, we've walked into a trap. The Sirenkin are watching. They always are. Alara's voice hardens. Then we do what humanity does best. Adapt. We don't fight the inevitable, we fight for survival. As the Sentinel edges closer to the alien fleet, weapons powered, shields holding, the ships around them flare, displaying their readiness for war. But then, something unexpected happens. A mysterious signal pulses from the heart of a nearby black hole. It's powerful, ancient, a frequency unlike anything the crew has encountered. The alien fleet, previously on the brink of aggression, stops, shields lower, weapons retract. The fleet's sudden change in stance is unnerving. The ships are moving, but not in an aggressive formation. The Sentinel moves cautiously alongside them. Dr. Reed leans forward, studying his readings. That frequency. It's like it's controlling them. A command. But why now? The Tivrath steps forward, his voice more solemn than ever. The Sirenkin do not simply silence, they control. This is their game, and we are mere pawns in it. Alara's heart sinks. Then we don't just need to survive, we need to break free. They are the ones who have controlled the galaxy's fate for far too long. It's time for humanity to take its place on the stage. The decision is made to join the uneasy alliance of the alien fleet, an alliance formed not by trust, but by the desperate need to survive. With the silence broken for the moment, the Sentinel and its new allies move forward, deeper into the heart of the unknown, toward the source of the Sirenkin's control. The Sentinel's mission has evolved. What started as a diplomatic voyage to discover the cause of humanity's sudden disappearance now becomes a fight for their very survival. The silence has revealed a darker truth, one that threatens not just humanity, but every species in the galaxy. But within the Sentinel's crew, a fracture is forming. Some, like Captain Alara Singh, are resolute in their mission. Humanity must survive at all costs. Dr. Reed, however, has begun to question the morality of their survival. Humanity's history, filled with violence, conquest, and oppression, has made them the target of the Sirenkin. To survive means to confront these sins. Some in the crew are starting to wonder, do we deserve this second chance? Tensions are rising within the ranks. As they press forward toward the Sirenkin's domain, the crew's internal conflict becomes just as dangerous as the external threats. In the dark corridors of the Sentinel, whispers grow louder. A growing faction within the crew believes that humanity's silence is a blessing, a chance to start over, free from the burden of their violent past. They argue that it is time for humanity to be erased from the galaxy's stage, that their history of aggression and domination has tainted the very fabric of the universe. Alara, torn between loyalty to her crew and the fate of humanity, faces a decision that could fracture the mission and perhaps humanity itself. As they venture deeper, a dangerous truth emerges. The Tivrath may not be the allies they seem. Their silence is more than just a quiet observation. It's a calculated manipulation, a push for control. Can Alara trust them, or have they been playing humanity from the start? Meanwhile, in the shadows of the ship, sabotage begins to creep into the Sentinel's operations. Crew members begin to act out, undermining Alara's orders. Systems fail, communications are compromised. The mission is teetering on the brink of collapse. The external enemies are relentless. But now, the most dangerous threat lies within the Sentinel itself. As alliances crumble and betrayal festers, the crew is faced with an impossible choice: survive at any cost, or abandon the fight for a chance to save humanity from its own history. With tensions running high and the Sirenkins' ancient power looming over them, Alara must make the hardest decision of all. How far is she willing to go to save humanity? Will she risk everything, including her soul, for the survival of her people? Or will she choose to let go and allow history to fade into silence? The unknown stretches ahead, but Alara and her crew have no choice but to press on. The Sentinel drifts silently toward the dark heart of the galaxy, its sleek hull cutting through the dense void. Alara Singh, her jaw clenched tight, stares ahead, her fingers gripping the console. The tension in the air is palpable, every crew member on edge, every sound echoing too loudly in the otherwise perfect stillness. "We're almost there," Alara says softly, though she feels anything but calm. Around her, the crew moves through the ship, their movements mechanical, tense. Dr. Ethan Reed, hunched over his console, mutters to himself about data anomalies he's been tracking in the galactic silence. He's obsessed with the ancient artifact, consumed by its power and implications. But even his genius can't silence the growing anxiety that bubbles through the ship. The ship's systems hum softly, but beneath the surface, the crew is more aware of the silence than ever. No one speaks about it openly, but every glance, every pause between commands is laden with unspoken fear. What will they find when they reach the Sirenkin's stronghold? It's impossible to ignore the eerie stillness. The galaxy that once seemed so vast, so full of possibility, now feels ominous, suffocating. This is no longer a quest for knowledge or exploration. It's a desperate attempt at survival. The silence that started with Earth's sudden disappearance is now the echo of something far greater than any of them could have imagined. And then they see it, their destination. A massive structure hanging in the void like a broken moon, its sheer presence warping space itself. The Sirenkin's stronghold, an ancient fortress built on power beyond comprehension. Every inch of the ship trembles as they approach the dark, looming monolith. Its black surface absorbs the light around it, as if it has swallowed the stars themselves. This is the heart of the silence, the source of the Sirenkin's power. Alara feels the weight of the silence pressing on her chest. It's not just the ship, it's the universe itself, holding its breath. Every step closer to the fortress brings them further into the unknown, and every step closer to a battle that will define humanity's future. The corridors inside the stronghold are lined with alien technology so advanced it defies comprehension. There are no signs of life, no sound, no motion, only the stark, cold architecture that speaks of control, of an unimaginable force that has shaped the universe for eons. Every footstep echoes in the silence, amplifying the tension in the crew's hearts. Alara moves forward, leading her team into the heart of the fortress. The weight of the mission presses down on her. The fate of humanity, the future of every colony they've built, hangs in the balance. The Sirenkin are no ordinary enemies. They can manipulate the very essence of communication and existence itself. And now, Alara and her crew have to confront them, face to face. Deep within the stronghold, They find it, the artifact, a relic of power, an object capable of reversing the silence or plunging them all into it forever. Dr. Reed studies it carefully, his hands shaking with the magnitude of his discovery. This is the key. It holds the power to undo the Sirenkin's control, but there's a catch. To activate it, humanity must sacrifice part of its history, part of its identity. The artifact can restore communication, but it will erase the memories, the knowledge, the very essence of humanity's past. Alara's mind races. The decision weighs heavily on her shoulders. Can she make this choice? Can she erase humanity's past sins, its wars, its mistakes, its failures, in exchange for a future free from the Sirenkin's grip? Or should she preserve the legacy of humankind, knowing that doing so could leave humanity at the mercy of the Sirenkin's power? There's no right answer, no perfect choice. Every option is fraught with danger. We can't forget who we are, one of her officers says, his voice tinged with fear. The cost of survival might be too high. Are we willing to lose ourselves just to live? Alara stares at the artifact, her fingers hovering over the control panel. She's not sure whether she's making a decision for the future or for the survival of humanity itself. But there's no going back. The future of all humankind rests in her hands. A shudder runs through the Sentinel as the Sirenkin reveal their full power. Waves of energy ripple out from the stronghold, distorting the fabric of space. The stars themselves seem to bend and twist, as if in response to the Sirenkin's will. The crew braces themselves, their weapons primed, but they know this is not a battle of firepower. It's a battle of will, of ingenuity. The Sirenkin's technology is incomprehensibly advanced, but humanity has one thing the Sirenkin don't: the ability to adapt. The Sentinel's crew quickly rallies, using everything. They have clever tricks, makeshift weapons, and sheer determination. Alara leads the charge, her mind racing with plans and countermeasures. It's a fight not just for survival, but for the very right to exist in the galaxy. The battle is chaos, a blur of energy blasts, ships weaving through the blackness, and alien technology that defies understanding. The Sirenkin are relentless, their power devastating, but humanity's spirit is unwavering. They refuse to go quietly into the void. In the thick of the battle, Alara stands at the forefront. She's not just a captain. She's the embodiment of humanity's will to survive. As she charges into the heart of the Sirenkin's control room, everything becomes clear. The stakes are higher than ever. This isn't just about defeating the Sirenkin. It's about proving humanity's place in the universe, about showing that despite their past, humanity has earned its future. Fight with everything you've got, Alara shouts, rallying her crew. We don't just fight for survival, we fight for our future. The final push begins. As Alara and her team close in on the artifact, the Sirenkin grow more desperate. But just as the battle seems to reach its apex, Alara faces her greatest test yet, a choice that will define everything. Should she activate the artifact and risk erasing the humanity she has fought so hard to protect? Should she let the Sirenkin win and preserve everything that has made humanity who they are? The silence presses in, suffocating. The weight of her decision looms over her like a black hole. But at that moment, Alara knows what must be done. With a trembling hand, she presses the button. The artifact hums to life. As the Sirenkin retreat into the shadows, their power broken, the Sentinel and its crew stand victorious. But the cost is steep. Humanity's past is gone, erased by the very artifact that saved them. The galaxy is forever altered. Humanity's future is uncertain, but they have reclaimed their place among the stars. The silence is broken. But at what price? As the Sentinel sails into the unknown, Alara stares out at the stars, the weight of the past heavy on her shoulders. Humanity has survived, but what kind of legacy will they leave behind? The Sentinel drifts back toward the heart of galactic space. Humanity's silence, which had once echoed across the stars, is finally broken, but the sound that now fills the void is not one of celebration. It is a quiet, tense hum, resonating with the uncertain future ahead. As the ship breaks through the edge of deep space, the galaxy stirs. Some greet humanity's return with open arms, others with caution. Fear lingers. Fear of the unknown, fear of the past that remains a shadow ready to resurface. Alara Singh stands at the observation deck, her gaze fixed on the swirling stars. The vastness of space stretches out before her, but the weight of the universe presses down on her shoulders. Humanity had been silenced, and now, with their voice restored, they find themselves at the center of galactic scrutiny. Some alien species view their return as a sign of resilience, a symbol of human strength. Others, however, whisper of the Sirenkins' manipulation of galactic communication networks, an act that had left scars too deep to ignore. The human presence is now both a symbol of progress and potential danger. Every step forward in diplomacy is met with hesitation from alien species that once viewed Earth as a fragile experiment of life. Can humanity rise above its dark history? Can it prove that it is worthy of its place among the stars? The crew of the Sentinel knows that Earth's return to galactic affairs will not be smooth. Diplomatic talks are fraught with tension, and the stakes have never been higher. Ilara's mind drifts to the endless debates that have raged within the ship. Some believe that humanity should never have been brought back from silence. Their past, filled with violence, conflict, and ambition, has left deep wounds in the fabric of galactic society. Is it right to break the silence that the galaxy imposed upon them? Others, like Alara, argue for humanity's redemption. It's not just about survival, it's about proving that humanity can learn, can adapt, and can grow. Alara stands alone, facing the weight of her decisions. She sacrificed everything, her career, her reputation, her life's work, for the chance to restore humanity's voice. But even now, as she leads humanity's re-entry into the galactic fold, she is haunted by doubts. Did she make the right choice? The consequences of breaking the silence are felt deeply within her soul. Was it worth it? Will humanity's second chance be one of growth, or will it be a replay of past mistakes? The crew's unity has fractured. Some among them, especially the officers who had wanted to remain silent, question Alara's decisions. Were they right to act, or has humanity's return just begun another cycle of conflict and destruction? Their trust in her is shaken, and she feels the weight of every eye upon her. As Alara walks the halls of the Sentinel, the echoes of her footsteps are a stark reminder that the future is uncertain. Humanity's return has not been a simple victory. Their place in the galaxy has been restored, but their reputation, their legacy remains in question. The burden of proving humanity's worth lies on her shoulders. Can they rise above their violent past? The days following humanity's return are filled with uncertainty and quiet reflection. The scars left by the Sirenkins' manipulation run deep. Humanity, despite its newfound voice, is divided. There is no clear path forward. Alara feels the tension between her crew members, the increasing cracks in their unity, and the constant fear that they will fail the test set before them. In the galactic councils, debates rage. Some alien species demand an apology. Others demand an explanation. While a few outright refuse to trust humanity, there is a growing sense of suspicion, even fear. The galaxy wonders if humanity will live up to its potential, or if it will once again fall prey to its own destructive nature. Alara feels herself caught between two forces, her duty to humanity's survival and her duty to her own conscience. Her leadership, once unquestioned, now faces the scrutiny of every species, every diplomat, and every observer in the galaxy. Will humanity be accepted back into the fold, or will their silence, once broken, only reveal their flaws? Dr. Ethan Reed, humanity's chief scientist, continues his work, though now with a heavy heart. His research into the Sirenkin and the artifact that triggered the silence has evolved from an intellectual pursuit into a moral responsibility. Humanity's return is not a simple victory. It is the beginning of a new era, an era that will test humanity's resolve, not just to survive, but to evolve beyond the mistakes of the past. He knows the Sirenkin's control over communication networks was a catalyst for humanity's silence, but Reed understands that their technological advancements, once the height of human ingenuity, were also part of the problem. The artifacts they've discovered, the technology they've developed, it all comes with a cost. It is no longer enough to simply push forward into the stars. They must learn to wield their power responsibly. Reed stands on the edge of the ship's observation deck, staring out into the vast, empty expanse. The weight of his responsibilities bears down on him. He cannot afford to make the same mistakes again. The next steps humanity takes could determine whether they will rise to greatness or fall back into their old destructive habits. He knows what needs to be done. True progress will require humanity to evolve, not just technologically, but ethically and spiritually. This is the real challenge. Can humanity truly change? Can they embrace their flaws, learn from them, and adapt to a galaxy that watches their every move? Or will they repeat the same mistakes that nearly destroyed them? Alara Singh, standing in the command center of the Sentinel, gazes out at the stars. The future is uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, she feels a glimmer of hope. Humanity has been given a second chance. The galaxy is no longer a silent witness to their mistakes. They now have the chance to create a future they can be proud of, but there is still much to prove. The true challenge lies not in survival, but in the ability to coexist with other species, to learn from the past and to build a future of respect and trust. Humanity will need to demonstrate that they are capable of more than just survival. They must show that they can coexist with the galaxy, adapt to its dangers, and learn from their past failures. The path ahead is daunting. The Sirenkin have been defeated, their ancient fortress crumbling in the wake of humanity's desperate push for survival. But even as their power wanes, the shadow they cast across the galaxy remains. In the cold, dark recesses of space they retreat, silent and ominous, like a forgotten nightmare that refuses to die. Their presence lingers, unseen, but their warning is clear. Humanity is not safe. The Sirenkin, beings capable of manipulating the very essence of galactic communication, have retreated into the depths of the cosmos, but the scar they've left runs deep. The galaxy now understands the extent of their control. Humanity's brief silence has only intensified the fear, the suspicion, and the caution from every corner of the galaxy. Some alien species are still reeling from the effects of that silence, their voices suppressed by a power far older and far more dangerous than any they've encountered. The Sirenkins' defeat has not erased the memory of what they can do. They have the power to silence again, to bend the fabric of existence to their will, and they will if humanity fails to evolve. The galaxy waits, watching as humanity's return to galactic affairs is met with uncertainty. Their voice, once silent, is heard once more, but for how long? The Sirenkin's retreat is not the end. The true challenge is just beginning. Can humanity change? Can it adapt to the threats that remain hidden in the darkness? A warning lingers in the empty void. Silence could return at any time. Captain Alara Singh stands in the heart of the Sentinel, staring out into the stars. The ship drifts, but the weight of responsibility pulls her downward. like the crushing force of a black hole. She has led humanity back to the galactic fold, but the scars of that journey are deeply etched into her mind. Her body is bruised, her spirit tested, but in the eyes of those who now look to her, she is more than just a captain. She is a symbol of human resilience, the living proof that humanity can rise from the ashes of its own silence. But this victory has come at a cost. The leadership she once commanded without question is now met with doubt. There are whispers among her crew. Some question her decisions, wondering if humanity's return was worth the sacrifice. Was it worth breaking the silence? Was humanity ready to face what lay beyond? Alara knows her role is far from over. Humanity's place among the stars has been restored, but this is a fragile peace, a new beginning forged in the fires of battle. She has to lead humanity into the unknown, into a future where the threats are still unseen and the stakes higher than ever. As she gazes into the vastness of space, Alara feels the weight of the future pressing on her. The next mission, the next step, is just as crucial as the one that brought them here. Humanity must prove that its place in the galaxy is not only earned through survival, but through growth, change, and the ability to rise above past mistakes. The sea road ahead is fraught with challenges. The galaxy watches with bated breath, waiting for humanity to show that it has learned from its failures. Alara is ready. She knows the cost of complacency. The true test is not whether humanity can survive, but whether it can live without fear, without repeating the cycle of mistakes that nearly destroyed them. As the Sentinel hums through the galaxy, Alara hears the haunting words that have followed them since their return. The last time humanity went silent, galaxies burned. But silence never lasts forever. The echoes of this warning fill her thoughts, each word a reminder of what humanity has lost and what it stands to lose again if it falters. Humanity's silence may have been lifted, but the threat of it returning is still there. The galaxy watches. The silence may have been broken, but the cycle of doubt, fear, and distrust has only just begun. Alara is no longer just a captain. She is the living embodiment of humanity's fragile future. The galaxy will watch and wait, its judgment hanging in the balance. Will humanity rise to meet the challenges of the cosmos, proving its worth and its place among the stars? Or will it fall back into the shadows of its past, doomed to repeat the mistakes that nearly wiped it from existence? Humanity's second chance is now a test of courage, wisdom, and strength. The silence may have returned once before, but this time, humanity's story is far from over. The galaxy's verdict is yet to be decided, and so, with quiet determination, Alara faces the stars, knowing that the road ahead will be filled with both hope and uncertainty. The future of humanity and the galaxy rests in their hands. And the stakes are higher than ever. Humanity must prove that they deserve their place among the stars. It is no longer just about surviving the Sirenkin's grip. It is about proving that humanity can rise above its history and embrace the future. As Alara gazes out into the expanse, she knows that this is only the beginning. Humanity's journey has just begun, and the choices they make will reverberate through time. What kind of future will they create among the stars? A future built on wisdom, unity, and respect, or one marked by the same mistakes of the past? The question hangs in the air, unanswered, but with the potential for greatness. Humanity's second chance is here, and their story is far from over.